This episode of Sleep It Off is brought to you by our Patreon. Everything we do here on the Pokemon Professor Network is powered by our community. You can join our community of supporters on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. We offer a range of support tiers and various benefits. All patrons will gain access to our patron exclusive Discord, which is a fantastic place filled with fantastic people. Good morning, Pokemon Sleep researchers, and welcome to episode 14 of Sleep It Off. Sleep It Off is part of the Pokemon Professor Network, and today is Tuesday, January 14th, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Justin, with my co-host, Luis. How's it going?
Hola, everybody. How's it going?
It's been like a month since we potted.
Oh, yes. It's been a while, right, since you and I would really just sat down and talk about our amazing finds in Pokemon Sleep,
Yeah, that's what happens when you schedule your 3-week honeymoon over Christmas and then you're not back.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, we do have, live events and everything. And I did do our solo, or at least my solo episode of the year. So that way you guys don't know that we're still playing the game. We're just, having our own thoughts and feelings of life. So. But yeah, no, it's great to be back. I'm just glad that we can finally talk about everything that has happened in the last few weeks. And hopefully we got some cool stuff to talk about too, right?
Yeah. You mean like how I visited Hobbiton? Oh, you meant the sleep stuff.
Yeah, no, yeah, sure. Oh, man. You said you've been away for a while, so where you been, what you've been doing? I think you actually hinted a little bit in the last time you were in the podcast.
Yeah, so my wife and I, we had been wanting to go to New Zealand for a while. We just never found the time because, it's a really long flight. It's expensive. And you got to have enough time off or it feels like you're just going to be in jet lag city for, a good majority based off of how the holidays fell this year with Christmas and New Year's. We got almost 2 weeks off just for company shutdown. So we just added a week onto that of our own vacation time, and boom, we had a 3-week honeymoon lined up.
That's amazing. I wish I can do that, but I can never do that.
Yeah. At certain jobs, you can never do it. I could have never afforded to do this in my previous 2 jobs for time off and multitude of reasons.
If I would have stayed in a job that I had about 10 or so years ago, maybe, but I had to be an employee for like 20 years before I can do that, I think.
Yeah.
They give you I think a sabbatical or something for 2 months or something. So that'd be crazy. But
yeah, no, it was pretty cool. I like to describe it as the great American road trip, even though we're in New Zealand, because it's like every Midwesterner's dream. Let's drive everywhere.
So how do you feel driving from the other side of the field?
Oh, that was tough. I kept you don't get close enough to the middle lane, so you're going off the edge of the road. It's terrible.
Yeah, well,
because you're sitting on the other side and you just I don't know how I feel about driving on the left, but eventually I got more accustomed to it. So then when I came back, I had a hard time driving on the right. And I'm like,
man, you just gotta love when other countries have things like that.
Yeah.
It's
so if I had to summarize my top 5 favorite things we did, because we also went to Australia. So Hobbiton, seeing where the hobbits live, they have 50 hobbit holes, and they have 2 fully furnished ones that are incredible. They full bath, full kitchen, storage, master bedroom, child's bedroom, family living room, dog bed, everything.
You can't tell me that it was an Airbnb too, right?
Yeah. No, it was not.
That would have been cool.
Although there is a Hobbit themed Airbnb somewhere. I think it's here in Texas. I don't know. I'd have to look again.
We'll see.
But so that was pretty cool. We had a private tour to see some marine wildlife like seals,
Oh,
penguins, sea lions. Pretty cool. It
that's
was
very cool.
50
Yeah.
degrees and raining all day, but I'm glad they gave us some extra jackets.
Hmm. Hey, at least it works for you, you know.
Yeah.
So
Um,
that's pretty cool.
we did a overnight cruise through the Fjordlands, and if you don't know what a fjord is, it's like a narrow sea inlet between mountains.
Okay,
And
that's pretty cool.
what's wild about this is the water is black because of they get so much rain. They get 400 inches of rain a year. It's the only cold weather rainforest, and it drains tannins off of the trees and foliage into the water. So it just kind of looks like black tea. It's pretty cool.
Some
And
tea
then,
party,
like,
y'all.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's cool. All right,
Yeah. So
well, I
then,
mean, you had some
no,
exciting stuff for sure.
no. Oh, one last thing. We got to go to Australia Zoo, home of the late Steve Irwin.
Did you
So
had some birds poop on you this time around?
they pooped on Jody this time.
Oh, okay. So it was
Yeah.
just, one at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Also, Justin, I know my audio keeps dropping on Audacity when I talk a little more louder than usual. So you may have to do some crazy editing when you can.
We shall see.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I'm glad. How was your sleep though? Because I mean, almost a full on, you were on the future flight kind of deal happened, So
Oh, yeah. I meant to talk about that. So, as far as gameplay goes, because I started the week in one country and went to another one, it just assumed that I skipped a day. So,
mm,
the actual day that I skipped was Thursday because I flew out Wednesday night. I arrived Friday morning,
mhm.
and I just basically didn't have any, I was on an airplane, didn't have any cell service on Thursday. And so I actually recorded, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night. But the game assumed that I just skipped Monday and then did Tuesday through Sunday.
That's interesting.
And then the same thing happened on the way back. So on the way back, we left Sunday and arrived on the same Sunday. But because I changed time zones, it assumed that I skipped Sunday's sleep session.
Hmm.
It was weird. I didn't
Yeah.
understand. I was like,
Well,
even though it did record Sunday night, it put it on Saturday. It was bizarre.
if anybody in the Pokémon Sleep or network company, whatever they actually, make the game, can you let us know how that works?
Yeah. So like I've heard people who adjust their time for if you're gonna do it at all, you gotta do like the whole week in that time zone.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because like, when people like to go to, the earliest time zones. So there's a time zone earlier than New Zealand. New Zealand is one of the earliest ones. It
Yes.
is 19 hours ahead of Central Time Zone in America.
You literally were
18
at the
ahead of you.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, from here to New Zealand, let me actually check because I always have to have my world's clock anywhere. Yes, 18 hours in New Zealand. And if let's say we're doing like Cindy's, like 16 hours or something, 2 hours difference there. But yeah,
Yeah.
I just keep myself in check in other parts of the world, knowing that everything happens in 24-hour period or 18-hour period. But that's interesting. How about any cool catches? Anything that you actually got? Because we had a bunch of stuff release and things
Yeah,
happen.
there was quite a few things. I was catching a lot, transferred a bunch. Let's see. I caught an onyx today.
Oh,
Does that
hey.
count? My
Yeah.
first ever onyx.
I mean,
I've
it
caught
it works, I guess.
I caught a steelix. I caught a lot of evolved forms because there was that event where there was like 3 hungries at once or 4 hungries at once, especially if
Yeah.
you used the good camp ticket.
Yeah.
So I love value, even if it's not like the right thing of, don't catch the quagsire, catch the whooper. And, because then you can evolve it up the skill, increase your holding space. But I was like, no, I just want the value. If I can give it my bonus biscuit and it can use all 12 from the hungry, then I'm going to do that. So like I caught a bunch of forms like Quagsire, Doug Trio, Florigato, Flaffy, Crocolore. Dedenne, multiple Dragonairs, Cramorant, Kangaskhan. Let's see. I gotta check the dates on some of these. Oh, it was only December 29th. I caught so many things. Let's see here. When was
What
Shiny
about
Mimikyu? That was
what
December
about
1st. Okay.
yeah, well, Shiny Mimikyu was like the last few ones that I remember getting,
Yeah.
but of course we had brand new Pokemons introduced as Alolan, Vulpix, and Pomni line were actually introduced for the first time. Anything there?
Okay. Let's see. Where did that go? Okay. So I got a shiny Mareep. No, shiny Flaffy, a shiny Snover, a shiny Butterfree, and a second shiny Flaffy during the last month since we potted.
Okay. Quite a bit of shinies. That's good.
Let's see. Oh, I caught a Sneasel at Snowdrop. It was terrible. It was ingredient focus with speed of help down.
Oof, oof.
I want to trash you, but I just can't.
Mhm.
Let's see. I caught one Pommy. He does have skill trigger M, and then Dream Shard bonus and inventory up, and then a neutral nature. So I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm not investing yet. I was really hunting for Dedenne, so I spent one of my event weeks at Gold Power Plant specifically for the increased Dedenne spawns, and I barely saw Dedenne. I think I only saw like 4.
Yeah, it wasn't really helpful, I guess, when it came down to it. A lot of people really didn't go the same way that we
I
did
had a
with
much better time when I did the first week at
Lapis.
Lapis Lakeside,
Mhm.
catching all the Dratinis for the extra candy, getting all the extra Dragonite candy because I need it. I finally got my Dragonite to level 50
Oh,
to
hey.
unlock the next sub skill. I had to use a bunch of rare candy too.
Yeah, I
I was
figured.
just like, we're so close.
And when you get that little piece, it's crazy too, you know?
Yeah, I mean, even with EXP up nature,
Yeah.
it was still took a while. But yeah, let's see what was. Let's see, Pommy. Who else was the new ones?
Alolan Vulpix, Pommy, and I think that's it for the new ones. But of course, the event focused on the newer Pokemon introduced in 2024.
Caught one Alolan Vulpix. It was terrible.
Yeah, that same. I think I got 2, and then I just trashed one because I was like, I'm not gonna keep this anyways.
Yeah.
But they're both Alolan Vulpix and regular Vulpix are both very specialist. It's just depending
Mhm.
on which candy it gets you. And don't worry, I'm not hearing the crickets this time around.
No, my dog is growling, saying he wants outside. So my
Uh,
wife's gonna take him outside.
but yeah, I'm actually happy that we have a brand new line with energy for everybody in the main skill, and that is of course the Pommy line. Giving it a outside perspective from the other 3 that we have, which is of course the 2 fairy types, Wigglytuff and Sylveon. The psychic type as Gardevoir, which is still one of the best, don't get me wrong, but Pommy giving you another ability
Mhm.
to have that strong of a skill trigger ability and help out the team when needed. Luckily enough, and I don't know if you listened to last week's podcast or the last time I podcast, is that I actually got a really, really good Pommy with
I heard that. I was like, wow.
it was literally similar skills from God of War, except for nature and just where they were.
Mhm.
So, just for recap, because I know a lot of people had it or heard it, is that I have helping speed at level 10, helping bonus at level 25, skill level up M, which was S. I just used a sub skill seed for it. And then at 75, it has trigger M, and at level 100 has berry finding.
Mhm.
So this is probably if it wasn't for the nature, because the nature is hasty, so it has experience up. If it wasn't that, it gets you more triggers and things like that, it will be amazing. But I think this is a long-term investment. Once level 75 comes on, this is gonna be a monster. I already spent can and all the dream shards to get it to level 50. So it does have his 50 skill.
Man,
Uh,
look at you. Already level 50?
yeah.
I've
And
been working on my Dragonite for 6 months.
well, this was during the Dream Shard event, the holiday event.
Oh,
But I
did
had
you
this.
use the increase the double candy effectiveness?
Yeah, the candy boost.
How much dust did that cost you?
I was basically broke by the time I finished, and I
I
had
was gonna
over
say,
about I think over 300,000 dream shards at one point,
you ended at 0?
basically. Now, the good thing about that is that throughout the entire week, I was focusing on dream shards, and I had a team full of dream shard triggers, plus whatever was going on through sleep sessions. So from almost zero, I was back up to over 250 at some point at the end of that week because of everything
Dang.
that I was doing. Surprisingly enough, it worked. I mean, after spending everything on that Pomni, I still had enough. And after that, and since then, let me tell you, I have over 550,000 dream shards right now.
Do
Just
you
because.
spend so I'm kinda like in Pokemon Go. I just kinda spend incrementally, like, every couple days.
Well,
I
I'm
don't
not
just
doing the one mission that you have to spend like 270 something candies to get like 15 gems or something like that. I'm not
Oh,
really
that one
spending.
just naturally happens for me. I
Yeah.
don't try to get it done.
Well,
I guess now I look at it, I'm at 214,000.
yeah, that low right now. It's just that we haven't invested in anything bigger since. However, I am keeping Pomni as a Pomni for right now because I'm running a long-term experiment for the next 6 months. And this is to be able to have Pomni reach good ribbon status
Mhm.
of 2,000 hours before I evolve it all the way to its final evolution, Pommel.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about this more in our deep dive section later about the best buddy ribbon.
Yeah, something that for a second I was like, oh, I'm just gonna evolve it all the way down to and everything. Just I have the candies, I have the dream shards. It doesn't really matter if I don't do. But then I realized, like, hold on, this may actually be the time to invest in something that use
Yeah.
Lunder.
The
I
the
am,
downside is you gotta keep it I mean, you gotta use it for those 2,000 hours.
yeah, which is
I
it's
guess you
being
don't
kind of
have
hard.
to. You could just swap it in every time you go to bed.
True. It depends on really on the ingredients that I'm looking for at the end of the day. Since
Mhm.
I'm an OGPP right now and I'm thinking I'm staying there until some other event comes on, um, it doesn't really change too much of my strategies. If I need to put God of War on the team like a day before or something like that, just to keep the team healthy throughout the day, it's fine. But it has helping bonus, so it does help out the team regardless, even if it doesn't trigger too many times. And it's not a crazy trigger like God of War, right? At least right now, because his carry limit is only 10. It did actually reach the first status of Good Ribbon, so I've been doing this since I got it.
Mm.
But
Oof, carry limit of 10. What level? Oh, is that level 50 though?
yeah, it's level 50.
Man,
The
carry
fr-
of 10. That's brutal.
it is brutal. That's why it doesn't trigger as much because it gets too full too quickly, and it has a frequency of 59 minutes currently, at
Mm,
least.
yeah.
But once we get into a deep dive, I'll get more going into what the good ribbon really is going to help and efficiently help me in the future. That reason, so I'm waiting. I'm playing the long term on this one. God of War will be, of course, my second in command when it comes down to healing my team from now on. But if I'm not doing a crazy decision or something like that, and for the near future, Pomni is just going to stay in my team until I reach that status. Real on, and I did do the math that day because 200 hours or 2,000 hours of sleep
Mhm.
in days, I guess. I think it was like 84 days or close to 84 days or something. That is, of course, if I do. Actually, no, I'm doing wrong sooner. In 8-hour days, I guess I should say. Let's see. If it was to 8 hours a day, that's 180 minutes and things like that. Where's the calculator? What I needed? I know I did a math last time. I can't remember right now. Assuming I get 8 hours of sleep, it's like at least minimum 8 hours of sleep, which I technically do because of the Gold Plus Plus, anyways. However,
Oh, no, no, no. You go ahead.
no, okay. So I know that I read it in some point that it needed over 200 days or something like that, but it's definitely going to be a good 6 months before I can actually get 2,000 hours. Um, which again, it doesn't seem a lot, but if I just play this game every day, it doesn't really matter. Aside from events or things that I'll need my team to be healthy throughout the entire time, I'll probably take it off and maybe skip a day or two. But just like any Pokemon with a long-term investments, like maybe pseudo legendaries or something like that, it's just a matter of going to sleep with it at the end of the day. So it doesn't
Mhm.
change that much.
Yeah.
So it's nice, helpful.
You did remind me of besides Dragonite, I had 2 other investments during this month off. So one was to get my shiny berry finding S Raichu to level 50
Mm.
because he did not unlock berry finding S until level 50, so he was unusable until then. And then he's got skill level up M and skill trigger S, which not great, but he does have a speed of help up nature.
Okay. All
So
right.
I was surprisingly lacking in Pikachu candies, mostly because I've invested in multiple Raichus. I
Right.
have another Raichu at level 52. I have another shiny Raichu at level 37.
It's helpful.
That's where all my Pikachu candy goes. And then I finally invested in an Ampharos.
Oh, yes.
I only have to take him to level 30 because I've already invested in one, so I didn't have the candies to go past level 30. But he's got skill trigger M and skill trigger S in the first 2 slots.
There you go.
So pretty good. And he's also got eggs in his second slot,
Ooh.
which is great for me because I always need eggs. And
Yes.
he's got like a surprisingly high ingredient finder rate, even though he's a skill Pokemon.
Okay.
So
I really think that if you invest enough to it, I think it gives you a good chance.
yeah, so then
I'm
I also dropped in 4 main skill seeds. 4 or 5? 5 to get it to level 7.
right. And how much does it trigger once it triggers?
So the base strength is 6409.
Oof.
But depending on
The
your
island.
island, so when I was on OGBP, we had the increased skill trigger rate for the event, but my island bonus there is only like 15 or 20%. But even still, I was getting over 8,000 for every trigger.
That's beautiful.
Now that I'm at Topalo this week, because I'm hunting Onyx and I'm hunting specifically a good Larvitar.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also have Vulpix there that I've never gotten a good one of.
Cantonium Vulpix.
It triggers, I get 11,000.
That's insane.
So
That's at least one of the lower meals every time it triggers. That's pretty good.
mhm.
Yeah. So
Now it's in theory it only triggers 4 times a day, but sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more,
and
and
double
I don't
triggers.
always have it on my team. So
Right. Yeah. For me, I did get a few extra Pokemons that I've been longing to get. Unfortunately, I didn't get like full on mono Pokemons, but last week where I got a Quagsire, a shiny Quagsire actually.
mm,
So which is very nice. It does have, unfortunately, it has only mushrooms at level the first slot, so it's ACC because it has potatoes, or ABB. I think it's ABB.
ABB.
Yeah. So it has potatoes at 30 and 60, unfortunately. However, it does have both ingredient finders at level 10 and level 25. And it has
Ooh,
ingredient finder up as its nature.
dang. That's
Mm-hmm.
I know what you mean because that was me and my Aggron.
Yeah.
It's ingredient find in the first 2 slots.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
So
I want to invest in
do you have problems with potatoes?
no, Victorville just wins that all at that point.
Hmm.
However, it could work if let's say I'm like in an island that needs the berries for it, but in the end of the day, I'm just gonna get the potatoes regardless. So,
So I actually have problems with potatoes. That is potatoes.
mm,
But because it's not level 60, it's only level 42. I do not get enough potatoes purely from it because like the top dishes
mhm.
require like 24 potatoes or something every time. And
Yeah.
so that's a lot of potatoes for me.
Honestly, my Victorville can go to level 60 right now if I wanted to,
Oh,
and get double the potato farmer.
oh well, I had to double invest in Victory Bell because I also have a tomato focused Victory Bell.
Yeah. No, I haven't really caught too many Victorvilles or anything for tomatoes. I actually have Venusaur for that to replace because Venusaur can have tomatoes in the next 2 slots. Plus ingredient find it. Or
Yeah, my tomato Victory Bell that I don't know I'm ever going to take the level 60 because it's EXP down, but
mm,
it's AAC with leaks in the last spot, which
yeah.
always need leaks.
Honestly,
But
I don't have a lot of Pokemons that actually give me a lot of the mono stuff. I've been just investing enough and never getting it to level 60 for that reason. So I don't know. It's one of
yeah,
the
so the way I look at it is if you need a large amount of the ingredient in that 60 slot, that's the only way I would ever take it from 30 to 60. Now, some of them you've used them enough, they level up over time. Like, for example, by what's it called? The electric bug Pokemon. The electric flying bug. Figavolt.
Mm.
I only invested it to level 30, but I've used it enough. It's level 38 just from like being on my team and EXP from overnight and stuff.
Yeah, I've been in the same situation with the Bigger Bowl too. But this Bigger Bowl just gives me the amount of coffee beans that I need, even without being in my team more than a couple of days or anything like that. So at the end of the week, I'm usually overstacked with coffee, and I'm just like, when am I going to use all of this?
Mm-hmm.
So it works when it wants to, but All right. Anything else before we continue on? Because I feel like we've been here for quite a minute.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it might be a good time for a break, you think?
I think so.
All right. We'll be back right after this.
Good afternoon, and we're back once again. That was a good break, I guess.
Yes, it was great.
Of course, But before we continue, we want to take a moment to recognize some of our Patreons. Huge thank you to our gym leaders, Ben, DJ Wonderbread, Espion Willow, sorry about that.
Willow.
GK, Hold the Counselor, Joseph, Kimberly, Matty G, Mythical Hitch, Nagin Dude, and Sushi Slayer. Special thanks to the second producers on the network, Monkey Bread, Kate the Cons, and Last of Us. If you're interested in becoming the executive, I can't even say the word anymore, executive producer to our show, let us know. With tiers as $1 a month, you can support a collective of hardworking part-time creators that have a passion for Pokemon and podcasting here at the Pokemon Professor Network. Hit us up, patreon.com/Pokemon Professor, where you can enjoy podcasts on the network like Lure Up, Special Conditions, Gotta Watch Them All, Waste Spotters, Purify, Good Morning Johto, and After Dark Ride. Make sure to check us out at PokemonProfessor.com for links to everywhere you can connect with us, grab some merch, and leave us some reviews, just like the 5 stars. We get them all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
That reminds me, I need to go log in and see what the reviews are.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right. So, quick few things. Actually, something that was just announced today is we're going to have another maintenance coming up. But this is an interesting one because it is some information that may come for future events. Oh, hey, thank you. That's cool. Anyway, so the maintenance period is going to start on the 15th and it's going to end on the 16th. So basically the 9th of the 15th or something like that, which is usually around 8 or 9 p.m. our time, or at least my time. And then it's like 9 or 10 to your time, I guess.
I feel like it changes.
I
just wait for people to tell me.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, I think I go to Reddit and be like, oh, it's maintenance time. It's like, okay, I got to do dinner before this. But yeah, so the features of this update, or at least points of interest on this, is preparation for new events happening very soon, which will be posted on a later date. Preparations to add new Pokemons. Please wait for more details, unfortunately. Additions of a new relaxing sound that Jigglypuff's on. If you ever wanted to
it'll be like the anime one.
Yeah. Na 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 na.
Jigglypuff.
Jigglypuff. Anyways, don't quote us on our singing, guys. Come on. There's also going to be some balance adjustments to some of the Pokemon
I hadn't read
helpers.
these.
Yeah, so adjustments to certain helper Pokemon's helping stats. Raticate. The frequency has shortened slightly. Its frequency is also going to be shortened slightly, and its carry limit will be increased, which is kind of nice because Kangaskhan is a very good mono farmer in a few things that I use.
Yeah, I use it for Ginger all the time. I'm using it right now.
Yeah, same. Heracross will also have a shortened frequency slightly. Maybe, I don't know, probably like 30 seconds or something. I don't know. Wobbuffet's main skill chance will be increased slightly, so that's pretty nice. But also his carry limit will be increased. It's kind of cool.
Ooh.
I
Wait,
think
no,
it's
Wobbuffet.
well,
Don't.
Wobbuffet was a little bit of a helper back in the day before we got Skeledirge because it needed apples for a while.
Yeah,
So
I did use my Wobbuffet for apples. I don't.
yeah,
Oh, and then also it's Berry Finding S and Psychic.
yeah,
It's all
I
right.
guess it's all right. It is a skill trigger though, so it does help out the team when it needs to. Will also be shortened slightly, and his carry limit increase, which is actually something slacking needed. Some people actually opted out of evolving into slacking for a few reasons of
Yeah.
frequency wise. So it's not bad to say
Mhm.
the least. It does have one of a good main skill. Additional stuff, like it says gaming contents. Addition to a new Pokemon search pattern, you can now search by specialty. I can't say that word anymore. When searching for a Pokemon in your Pokemon box. So instead of having to worry about looking for your skill trigger, ingredient finders, now you can search through the box that easily.
I actually like that. I've been wondering why that wasn't already a thing. Like, if I want to look for my berry finders to see what I'm missing, why
Yeah.
can't I look for berry finders?
I agree. And updates to it will be the capacity limit for the bag's items pockets will be unlocked. It's going to go from 800 to 1000. I didn't even know we can carry 800. I thought it was only 600.
Yeah, well, I'm not maxing out my bag item.
Yeah, not either.
I
I'm still
don't.
at 200.
Who needs 1,000?
Probably whalers.
Like, what are you putting in there? I think I'm under 200.
Yeah, I'm at 200 capacity, but under 200 in items right now.
Yeah, let me look what I'm at. I bet it's like 160. Let's see. Oh, that's the wrong spot. Yeah, I'm at 140.
Oh my goodness. I never had needed that much item space
Yeah.
once because I was never using too many of the items, but then I just used it.
Did they mean the ingredient pocket?
No, it says item pocket here.
I wonder if they meant ingredient because who needs that much items? Unless
Anybody
you
who
just
just spends on
never
everything.
spend. Unless you just never spend your items ever. I don't use any rare candy. I don't use any dream clusters. I don't use any energy pillows. I just let it all stack up.
Oh, I
Maybe that's it.
trashed on my energy pillows one point.
You trashed them?
Yeah, well, I use them on some occasions, but I don't have that many anymore. I used to have like 10, 20 of them. Now I just have like 5.
I have any. I only get like 1 to 2 and then I'll use them and then I'm back to 0.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't really been using too many of the other items. Just a lot of Pokemon incense.
Oh, incense.
Mm-hmm. Aside from that, I mean, aside from what was that?
What was that?
Oh,
Or well,
oh,
buffet.
oh no. I saw the game tag. We have a brand new event announced just now.
Oh, just now.
Just literally now. Like literally, I went back to the main menu and I saw the little tag. I was like, wait, what was that? And
Maybe
then I
that's
saw
why I was having an error. So I was opening this.
probably. All right. Well, breaking news, everybody. Let's go
As
back.
of
Literally a
9
minute ago.
p.m. Central Time in America.
Yeah, 9 p.m. Oh well, Central Time. It's 10 p.m. for everybody here. Yep.
I love
Yep.
it. It's so cute.
Well, we were just talking about the maintenance update that's gonna happen. Brand new Pokemon are
All right.
arriving to Pokemon Go.
Okay.
This is exciting, especially
Very
the.
exciting. All right. I'm just going to jump straight into it.
Go ahead.
Rufflet and Braviary, the best birdies, are coming to Pokemon Sleep. They are so cute. You see Rufflet, if you've ever seen him, he's a little puff ball. He's got a little puff head with a single feather on his forehead. He's got his little wings spread out. He's just happy to be there. And then there's a happy, I can only assume, mama or dada bird that's looking down on
America.
their Rufflet son.
Yes. Yes.
There have been reports of Rufflet and Braviary appearing near certain areas. Maybe this is thanks to sleep research you've all been conducting. It may be possible to encounter them during sleep research sometime soon. Rufflet, flying, Braviary, flying type. We don't think we have a ton of flying types in the game.
No, just a few here and there.
Oh, okay. If I read further down, newly arriving Pokemon details appearing beginning January 20th, 2025 at 3 p.m. Let's see. Is that the middle of the week again?
That's next week.
No, it's a Monday.
Yeah. Surprising.
Pokemon incense for new arrivals can be used starting from the date above and time above. Appearing at Greengrass Isle, Cyan Beach, and Snowdrop Tundra. I might go to Cyan Beach just because I haven't been there in so long.
I might agree with you, but I'm also gunning with Snowdrop Tundra.
Oh, yeah, because then I could also hunt for the Sneasel.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I will do Snowdrop. And then the sleep type is slumbering, which isn't great. Although I did get slumbering last night without manipulating it. Sometimes I gotta put the device in a certain spot to get slumbering. Otherwise, I move too much at night.
Yep.
And then its main skill will be Berry Burst. Gets a set amount of berries plus a few of each other berries of other Pokemon your team collect. Note that the number of berries you'll get is different than what you get from Disguise. Berry Burst. Okay, so we don't know what type it is. We don't know if it's a skill type, berry type, ingredient type. I'm going to guess skill type, but I don't actually know.
Just based on the skill itself, but we are always wrong when it comes down to things. So we'll leave it at that. Let's say that it's a skill type for now. So it's not too bad in the end of the day. However, there's more to it because there's going to be a brand new event happening right next to it.
All right, Luis, tell us about this event. What is it called?
The Super Skill event. Oh my God. This is already...
my Ampharos is ready. My body is ready.
Let's do it. Okay, so get the most out of your Pokemon specialty during Super Skill Week. During this 1 week event, helper Pokemon with skill specialists can really shine. Also, Pokemon with the skill specialist will be more likely to appear, and a limited time mini candy boost will be available during this event. So if you're ready to power up Pokemon, this is your time.
Yes.
Again, when is this happening? This is happening on Monday, January 20th to Monday, January 27th in all areas. So you can go anywhere you want to.
Nice. Coincides great with Rufflet and Braviary.
Yes. So just pick your good area to go to. The mission, of course, will also be throughout the 20th to the 27th. So mission period. The bonuses, let's see. Throughout every single day of the event from the 20th to the 26th, the chance of triggering the main skill of helpful Pokemon with the skill specialist will be multiplied by 1.5.
Oh, interesting. It does specify skills specialty. So my Blastoise that I use all the time that it has high skill level does not get the boost.
Correct.
It's an ingredient finder.
Yep. It says here the main skills levels of helper Pokemon with the skill specialties will be boosted by 3 when they trigger.
Oh, dang. That's pretty sick.
That is... Oh, I'm already warm from all. The limited time mini candy boost function will be available. Pokemon of different sleep types will appear during sleep research regardless of sleep types for that day, so really don't have to manipulate anything. And certain Pokemon will be more likely to appear during sleep research. Let's see here. So graded appearance rates. Of course, Rufflet and Braviary will appear more throughout the event, so it really depends on where you want to find it the most. And then everything else, likely graded appearance, will be things like Meowth, Psyduck, Crowlet, Slowpoke, Magnemite, Eevee, Igglybuff, Togepi, Mareep, Heracross, Sableye, Gulping, Wynaut, Drifloon, Bonsly, Riolu, Rouse, Dedenne, Mimikyu, and Pumpy. So those are all skill triggers, skill specialists, right? As far as I remember. And then it tells you which Pokemon be in each island here. The most notable ones, of course, because we already know most of this, will be Rufflet and Braviary, which we know they're in Snowdrop Tundra, Cyan Beach, and Greengrass Isle. However, if you really want to prioritize getting those new Pokemons, go to an island that will have lesser spawns of the other ones, which unfortunately...
Just don't go to Greengrass.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it looks like both Cyan Beach and Snowdrop Tundra will have appearances between the two, even though Rufflet and Braviary will appear more greatly at that point. So keep in mind that when it comes down to it, we have information about the limited time candy boost already, which we already know that will have the function of 50 candies per day. And then, of course, the notes of
Okay,
how.
actually, this seals it. Why I'm going to go to Cyan Beach
Yeah.
is Growlithe, love my boy. I do actually want another Heracross because I
Okay.
have one, but it's like I it doesn't have any good skills. It just has skill level up M, and then it has a Ruffle and Braviary.
Mm. I'll definitely have to plan out what Pokemons I'm gonna be wanting more skill triggers to appear. But I think I'm gonna be in the same decision as you and go to Cyan Beach for this, just because there's a few other Pokemons that I'm hoping to get as mono and things like that. So it won't be a
Maybe
bad
get a
idea.
shiny Eevee.
Again.
Well, I've never gotten one.
I did, but so,
Ah,
so it's not
that's the
bad.
points. Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, but it's not bad when it comes down to it. Rufflet and Braviary being flying types will be really helpful in Cyan Beach, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so long as, of course, it seems like they're gonna be skill triggerers, just because this whole event is about skill trigger. So that's
All right,
cool.
so that is cool. The limited time candy boost. So it's kind of like what we were talking about before. You do get twice the amount of EXP for 4 times the amount of dream shards. Now, one of the events we had recently, I think, was 5 times the amount. So this being 4 times the amount is quote unquote good value, if you can call it that.
Yes.
But again, would recommend Pokemon under level 30 that you do this to. Once you get above level 30, it's so crazy expensive.
Oh yeah.
It would be insane.
That's a good thing I didn't power anything up at this point.
Yeah, because like the last time we had it when it was the 5 times,
Oh my
I
god.
didn't use it at all. I didn't have anything I needed to power up that desperately.
Yeah. No, so definitely plan out what you would like to power up throughout this event and just be ready with your dream shards and everything.
Yeah.
Everything
There's
else.
also the traditional notes that they put in here about like, when to track your sleep data and stuff, but it's kind of the same every time. So
yeah, so just keep in mind.
don't be dumb.
Just go to sleep. That's all you got to do. At least press the damn sleep button when you play the game. Exciting, at least for the very first big event of 2025, introducing a brand new type of event. So really,
yeah,
I'm actually very
cool.
excited about this. I'm always a sucker for skill triggers, so I may do a couple of things now that I'm gonna go.
I'm a sucker for birds.
Yeah, true. Can you tell me how many birds you actually saw in your vacation?
Oh, I have an app, and in this app, it was like real life Pokemon Go. Well, not Pokemon, more like a Pokemon Snap, because I'm like, all right, what bird is that? I'm like, okay, it was black with white on its wings, and it's about the size of a crow. Oh, it's the Australian magpie. And then like stuff like that. And there's some you could identify by sound based off their call. I could record their call and do that. And then we also saw a bunch of parrots.
There you go.
So, which is always a dream of mine to see.
Yep.
So they have a couple different types of parrots there, and there's this one type called the Kia, and it is an alpine parrot. It's the only species of parrot that lives in the mountains, and it is so like curious. It's like a 5-year-old, and it's also destructive.
Wow.
So we were asking the people at the information center, like, yeah, so if I wanted to take a hike over here, because this is in like a national park, where do you know where I could find some Kias? And they're like, oh yeah, just go to the parking lots. I was like, the parking lots? Yeah, the parking lots of like X Trail, Y Trail, and Z Trail. They like to hang out there. I'm like, oh, okay. So we show up there in the parking lot. Sure enough, they're just like diving on top of cars and then just like chewing on things.
There you go. Gotta love Australia when you want to, no?
Yeah.
All right, so that was, again, very exciting stuff happening very, very soon, guys. So luckily we were able to catch it for you this time around. So let's get quickly into our deep dive and something that we've been alluding since the beginning of the podcast today.
Yes.
We talk about.
Luis, tell us about the Good Night Ribbon.
So the Good Night Ribbon, and thankfully I have our friends at game8.co to give us some really good information about this. The Goodnight Ribbon was actually introduced at the 1 year anniversary of Pokemon Sleep. It did help out in a few ways how you're really going to manage it. So the Good Night Ribbon will be applied to your Pokemons the more you sleep with them. So the more you spend time with them and go to sleep with them, and throughout the time, the more sleep hours you get with them, you'll get more chances on the Good Night Ribbon.
Can I point out something I've noticed that I'm
Yes.
curious if they'll fix at a certain point? Every time you level up your Pokemon or unlock a new sub skill, it increases your RP.
Hmm.
When you get a Good Night Ribbon or you level up your Good Night Ribbon, it does not increase your RP.
It
I
does
find
not.
that weird, even though like your skills are better now.
Yes, but the Good Night River effects goes by levels and definitely needs to know what level it gets. I don't know if you actually have gotten the 2000-hour Good Nights.
Yeah. My when I leveled my Blastoise leveled up from the was it 1000 to 2000,
Mhm.
didn't increase the RP at all.
All right. Well, I think it matters in a different way when it comes down to it. So let's
Yeah,
go
well,
really quick.
it provides actual benefits. The
Yes,
RP is purely just so you can get
it's like combat power in Pokemon Go. It's just
yeah.
CP level or
It's just
something like that.
visual representation of what
Ye-
the real stuff is.
Yes. So we have 4 levels of the Good Night Ribbon. Starting at level 1, it requires 100 hours of sleep share with the Pokemon, and the effects that it gives it is carry limit added to 1. So it carries one more berry or ingredient to the already stack of carry limit that it has. Level 2, it requires 500 sleep hours. So we're getting up in the numbers of sleep. The carry limit of the Pokemon will increase by 2, but it also
And,
has,
and so I was just gonna say, so it
yes,
stacks with the level 1. So your carry limit is now +3.
plus 3,
Go on.
correct. Yes. And other bonuses to the level 2 will be if the Pokemon can still evolve once, its frequency or helping frequency will be shortened by 5%. So basically, a helping bonus subskill. However, if the Pokemon can still evolve twice, meaning to a second stage evolution, like, Pomni to Pomo to Pomino, whatever it is called, if it evolves twice, its helping frequency will be shortened by 11%. So double, even more double than the helping bonus
Mm.
at that point, which is great. However, if that means that the Pokemon needs to be able to evolve during those times that you get that
Yeah.
ribbons.
So all the stuff that this was not done what you're trying to do.
Correct. So with that, of course, being the case, we have level 3. It requires 1000 sleep hours share with the Pokemon and a carry limit of +3, 8. No, what am I talking about? 6. So I did it
Yes.
differently. 6 carry limit throughout the time. And then you also get a special profile icon for the helper Pokemon. So, something that you can display that you have slept so much with this Pokemon. And then level 4, we have the 2000 hours sleep share with the Pokemon. Carry limit. So at this point, you do have 8 carry limit extra for the Pokemon. And this is another thing that it's added to the bonus of 2000 sleeps. If the Pokemon can still evolve once, the helping frequency will be shortened by an additional 7%. And if the Pokemon can still evolve twice, its helping frequency will be shortened by an additional 14. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about at this point, don't worry, I'll explain it right now. So, the reason why the Good Sleep Ribbon is actually great on early stage Pokemons, as basically what I'm doing with my Pomni at this point, is that the frequency does help a lot and in a lot of ways to make sure that the Pokemon can get a berry or ingredients or even just help itself trigger a little bit better at that point. So knowing that you need to have the Pokemon at its base form still means that you're investing on a long-term Pokemon that's going to have better stats once it fully evolves in the future. Since the effects of the Good Ribbon stack both the carry limit and the frequency, you're actually having a really strong, fast Pokemon if you do invest in early stage Pokemons at that point. So even if the Pokemon is only one evolution, having a 12% frequency short than by the time you get to level 4, it's incredible. I mean, just getting it fast enough is amazing. You can do this with berry finders too, because it will just bring the berries and sneaky snacking so quickly at that point. But the same time goes with having an additional almost 25% of frequency. And that's not including any of the sub skills like helping bonus or helping speed at that point. So that just makes the Pokemon incredibly fast in its own right, both for maybe Fairy Finders the best, but also for any additional skill specialists or ingredient finders at that point. The icons are pretty cool too. You get a nice special. I do. My God of War is well over 2,000 hours to sleep at this point.
Yeah. Know about the icon thing. And I was scrolling through to change my icon, like.
Yep.
So if your friends.
I'm using my shiny Mimikyu right now.
Yeah.
So it's something like this. So it gives right here on the article, it gives you like best Pokemons to use the good ribbon for. And honestly, it works better with berry finders. Just for the reason that it outspeeds things like that and everything like that. I can barely see that. It gives you an example with level 2 Onyx or level 4 Onyx at that point when it comes down to things. The base value of speed in Onyx will be like 51 minutes and 40 seconds or something like that. With level 2, it goes down to 49 minutes and 5 seconds. And at level 4, without evolving, giving it that extra 7% boost in frequency, it's 45 minutes. So it really does lower the ability to gather those berries faster when it comes down to things. And even gives you frequency when in comparison for Bigorod and Slacking and things like that. So it's definitely something that you want to invest if you have the chance to invest it. The only reason why it's a long-term investment is because 2,000 hours is about 3 months worth of sleeping with that Pokemon. So I'm definitely sacrificing a lot when it comes down to it, but I am adjusting currently at that.
Interesting. So it shows
yeah,
kind of crazy.
Yeah. So I'm
so used to the ones where, and then so like Vigoroth, for example, 1 hour and 3 down to 53 minutes.
And that's just base frequency at that point. So yeah, the article itself just gives you better examples when it comes down to the good ribbon effects and things, how it works out in the end of the day. So
and keep in mind about the announcement from a year ago, anniversary event,
which is cool. Man. But yeah, I really think that just because of the way that I'm looking into things, well, I just lost. Oh, there he is. Knowing that the good sleep ribbon will always be a beneficial factor, you just need to know when to use it. Or when to actually apply it, because you really want it on the base Pokemons instead of the evolved Pokemons at that point. So maybe I'll look for a better God of War, which I don't know how I can get any better than that. Actually, I can, but I just need a really good nature one. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. You just have to be a whale at that point.
Unless it's a shiny.
No.
Always. I mean, my last shiny was not that bad, though. Had double ingredient.
Shiny Raichu. Yeah. But I had so many other cursed.
Right. All right. Let's not get too much longer on here. Let's get into our last piece of detective-wise. Dream Dex Detective. It's back. I know it's been a couple of weeks. Man. Since it's been a couple of weeks, let's remind Justin what he needed to guess this time around. As I'm sure he wanted to. So, Justin's entry, or at least guess entry, would be: this Pokemon feeds on soil. On very rare occasions, you might find one holding a half-eaten clump of earth as it sleeps. Perhaps it grew sleepy after filling its belly. So, Justin, what is your guess? That's true.
And see. Well, it doesn't have arms.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
It is not. It's a ground type at this first 2 stages. There you go. Finally.
Yeah. I has this type where it has like the little rock.
Yep.
Did you choose that?
Funny enough, I actually picked it without you being in the Tyranitar at that point, but
All right. So
there's a lot of Pokemon that does that. Just that process wise, I'm thinking like the Geodude line, the Onyx line, the Pinsir line, and of course the Grubbin line.
Mm.
Just for that reason alone, just because it has a sturdy body, so it kind of sounds like Steelix at that point. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, shall see. All right.
We've been catching up, so it's nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll finalize things here. Make sure that you email us anything to sleepeitoffpod@gmail.com if anything, or you can also voice, text, or picture line at 732-835-8639. You can also check our Linktree for the Pokemon Professor Network if you want to check us out there. And that's pretty about it, isn't it? Justin,
right.
I think it's time to
That's
go to
it.
sleep.
Bump of mud.
Good luck with that.
All right.
Have a good night, everybody.
Night.